How do you control Kundalini energy? Now, I know there are people that will tell you, it can't be controlled, it's by the grace of God, it's a divine thing that you can't do. It just shows that they know very little about Kundalini energy. And other people will start to say, oh, well, it's all about your chakras and you have to have your chakras flowing. And yeah, okay. That is not how you control Kundalini energy. I have been an energy master for over a quarter of a century now. I have studied many different techniques, and I can tell you, if you go looking to learn how to control what we call Kundalini energy, the energy that rises in the spine, through yogic and tantric knowledge. When I say tantric, I mean the information that comes out of the Indian Hindu culture, to give it a source area geographically on the map, you're probably not going to find it. Because I haven't found it there. I've searched and I haven't found it. So where does the answer lie? Where do we find the way to control this? Now, shamans will say, well, it comes through plant medicine, the use of plant medicine. Yeah, but that's turning it on and off. And you'll find in Kundalini activation, people turn it on and off, and they give sessions just like Reiki, basically for money, to heal people, but they don't have it flowing the whole time. They're not feeling that constant buzz the whole time. So what is the key to controlling Kundalini energy? Well, it's actually very simple. If you head a little bit further north, geographically, from where I said, we are still in Tantra country, but we get to Taoist Tantra, Buddhist Tantra. We get to the area of the martial arts. Now we know the martial artists control their chi very well. They can bring their chi down, they can store it, and then they can do things like 1-inch punches and breaking boards. And I'm not talking about this little thin board that any 2-year-old can flick and it breaks. Now I'm talking about really thick planks of wood that they can break. The feats that the Shaolin monks can do, focusing the point of a spear on them and not cutting themselves, all these things, that comes from mastering the chi energy. Okay, it comes from obviously working and, making the skin denser and making your bones denser, and there's the physical side to it as well. But it comes from building chi. So do they build chi in the chakras? Do they hold control of the chi in the chakras? No, of course they don't. They use what they call the Dantians. Once they are awakened, there are 3 points in the body that can be confused with 3 of the chakras. These points, these Dantians, you have the lower Dantian. It's just below your navel, right slap bang in the center of your body. That one is active in everybody until about the age of 10, where it shuts down. So you have to reactivate it. Once we reactivate that one, we can then bring in the activation of the middle Dantian, which is in the area of the heart. Again, the chakras are in the spine that are connected to the plexuses, those areas of nerve endings at the front. Yeah, we're not talking about these. The lower Dantian is slap bang in the center of the body. So if you put 2 fingers on your navel, just below your navel, and then draw a line back. And then from your perineum, you draw a line up. Where those two lines cross, that is the point of the lower Dantian. The false Dantian will be at the front. Many people feel on the front. That is a meridian point. That is the false Dantian. Then we have the middle Dantian, which the heart. But it's not the organ of the heart. It's the area of the heart. Most people will actually associate this point more with the thymus gland than the heart. Its exact location, just feel the center point where your attention is drawn. Again, not on your chest, not on your back. Just focus on the heart area where the attention is drawn. Most people don't realize that many guided meditations out there focus on the heart, and they focus on this golden light in the heart. And people assume they're talking about the heart chakra. They're not actually talking about the heart chakra because the chakras are located in the spine and the plexuses come to the front. But yet those guided meditations, they're actually talking about the center of your body. So again, slap bang in the center of your body, meaning center as in front to back. In the heart area lies this middle Dantian. Then we have the upper Dantian. The upper Dantian is located slap bang at the center of the head. Don't confuse this with the pineal gland. You know, because many people say, oh, the pineal gland is... Don't focus on the pineal gland, just focus. Bring your attention to slap bang in the center of your head, which you will find is ever so slightly above the pineal gland. That's the confusion. So the lower Dantian is very close to the second chakra. For women, they will confuse the lower Dantian with the second chakra, and they will say, because of the organs within you, and they will say, oh, well, the womb is the second chakra. Or is it not the second chakra? Is it actually the lower Dantian? And it has been said that in history that women that activate their lower Dantian can activate a physical power that will make them stronger than men. And this is one of the reasons that it was banned centuries ago for women to do these practices in a lot of areas. Obviously, it's being brought back. Yeah. So it is the Dantians, the control of the Dantians, awakening and activating and controlling what is called the microcosmic orbit. Now, the microcosmic orbit is not an energy that flows from the lower Dantian to the upper Dantian and back again. It can feel like that at the beginning. But it's called an orbit for a reason. If a satellite or a spaceship orbits the Earth or orbits the moon, it doesn't go through the center of the moon. It goes around it and it gets pulled down like a gravitational shot. It's how things get shot around planets and speed up. So the microcosmic orbit works in the same way. So we activate these lower Dantians, and I teach very specifically how these things happen, how we activate them, and how we control them in my integral energy program found on theawakenenergy.com. If you're interested in, obviously, it doesn't just talk about that. It's a year-long course. That is just the first part of this. But when we learn to connect, identify, flow the Dantians, when we learn to connect the microcosmic orbit, that is when we can begin to understand truly what the Kundalini energy is, because there's nothing to do with snakes. It never has been anything to do with snakes. That has always been a metaphor. It's coiled like a snake, not a coiled snake, coiled like a snake in the root chakra. And of course, indeed it is. One way to explain it. And of course, no, it is not the microcosmic orbit that is the Kundalini. The Kundalini energy, the true Kundalini energy, isn't the energy flowing in the body. It's not the pranic energy. It's nothing to do with Kundalini activation, although that can possibly lead to Kundalini awakening. It is the connection to the macrocosmic orbit, something that takes a lot of work, and the flow of that macrocosmic energy through the spine is the awakened Kundalini. It's just two slightly different cultures explaining it in different ways. So if you are looking to control the Kundalini energy, you can either come and take my integral energy program, or you can look into what is called Neigong, Neiden, internal alchemy, and not, entities and all of that stuff. No, just pure energy work. Just focusing on cycling your energy to connect enough to Shakti, and Shakti is energy. And when we connect enough to this Kundalini Shakti energy, we get to a point that it connects and opens to Shiva, which is consciousness. This is what a Kundalini awakening is about. It's not about the rising of the Shakti. That's part of it. It is about the connection to consciousness, the state of moksha, the state of samadhi, the bliss zone. Well, the bliss zone can be arrived at through moving prana around the body. It feels great. It can be arrived at through using tantric sacred sexual energy, which again has another name in the other system. There are different names for different parts of the energy. So if you are looking, just to review, to control your Kundalini energy, you need to start learning about the Dantians, awakening them, activating them, getting them cycling, and the microcosmic orbit. Anyone who teaches this and says, just visualize the Dantian circling, just visualize the microcosmic orbit circling. It's not about visualization. It's about literally feeling these things. Most of the clients that come to me and work with me on my programs aren't beginner practitioners. Whilst my courses are designed for beginners, you can totally come and do it if you're a beginner. Most people that come to me have already done some type of work. And they could have been doing work for years with the microcosmic orbit. And they relate this microcosmic orbit to this tiny string-like feeling flowing round up the center of the spine, round the top of the head, back down the front of the body. And that's what they thought the power of the microcosmic orbit was. That is the initial stages of the microcosmic orbit. When it is fully activated, when your internal energy systems activate, you will discover that it's so much more than that. It's so much bigger. The Sushumna is in the spine, says the yogic and tantric practices. Well, yes, it is until it is fully activated, and then it's way more than that. It's so much more powerful than that. It's like turning on a tap and you have a little flow of energy compared to a massive waterfall of energy. The difference is vast. And this is only talking about the Kundalini energy. This is talking about activating the Shakti energy. This is not talking about Kundalini awakening. That is the next level, and connecting to Shiva, to consciousness. If you're interested in that, theawakenenergy.com, the Integral Energy Program, or my one-on-one 3-month intensives. Everything I do is, as far as the work is concerned, is one-on-one or private practice. And then we also have group sessions online to practice more and more. But the very interesting, crucial work is done one-on-one. It's not big, open retreats with 20, 30 people that is really economically viable for me, but well, it's really hit and miss for the people doing the retreat. You might be lucky and get there, or you might not. Yeah, this is super focused, bespoke for you. Each client I work with, it will be slightly differently worked depending on where they are, how quickly they progress. Some people progress at a astounding rate, and other people take longer. Just as some people can pick up a tennis racket and never play tennis in their life, and within 20 minutes they're playing a game of tennis, where other people have to take lessons and practice for a long time before they get any good. It's fine, it's just another thing that we do. That is how to control your Kundalini energy using the microcosmic orbit and the Dantians.